And now let us invite Mr. Simerjeet Singh, co-founder of Cutting Edge Learning Systems, on stage. With over 16 years in keynote speaking and collaborations with some of the world's most influential companies, Simerjeet's insights resonate worldwide, from the stages of TEDx to the halls of the United Nations. Known globally as the disruption coach, he reveals how each of us can navigate and excel in this changing world with simple, actionable insights that you can apply immediately. Let us welcome Simerjeet.
Thank you so much. What an immense pleasure to be here. If I understand correctly, this is the largest bilingual conference in Singapore, yes or no? Give a huge round of applause for the organizers, please, for putting together an impeccable conference here that we can all learn from. So from the implementation guru, that was Robin, to the disruption coach, that's what I call myself, Simerjeet Singh, disruption coach, short is DC. You see, my grandmother wanted me to grow up and become a DC, which is back in India as a deputy commissioner. I could not do that. So in order to honor her memory, when I became a coach, I decided to call myself the disruption coach. And I'll just build a little bit upon what Robin already said, that knowing something is one thing, yes or no? By the way, do you want a speech or an experience? Some of you are not sure. Two choices only, speech or experience. I get paid the same both ways. It's your choice. Experience, so number one qualifying criteria for experience is your participation, right? So just building on what Robin said already, that knowing something is one thing, and implementing that thing is another. That's what he just said. That's what his keynote was all about, right? And let me just build on that a little. For the first person who will come up on stage with 2 Singapore dollars, I'll 10x it with $20 right now. I'm not kidding. First person to walk here with $2, just walk up here, $2 cash, not a digital payment, and I 10x it into $20. You have to come up on stage with $2. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Here we are. And that's your 10x return right there. Thank you very much. Excellent. Give him a round of applause. Just to build on what Robin already said, did you all know that this would be a good return on your investment? Yes, no? You all theoretically knew it. It'll be a 10x return. Yet only one person out of 800 or 700 actually implemented it. So results belong to those who implement what they know. And I have 15 minutes today. As an international professional keynote speaker, most of my speeches are usually 45 to 60 minutes. So when we first decided on this speaking slot, part of my brain, which was the fixed mindset, which was the what? The fixed mindset was telling me, this is not what you do. This is something new. Are you sure you want to do it, right? And then there was another part of my brain which we should all develop and activate in changing times. It is called the growth mindset. What's the other part? The growth mindset. And the growth mindset said, yes, you should say yes. Take a deep breath in, please. Inhale. Shake someone's hand on your right and left. Look them in the eye and tell them, say yes to new opportunities. Say it now, please. Say yes to new opportunities. I said yes to this new opportunity, and here I am in front of you today presenting this information. And you know what? Something interesting happened. As soon as I said yes, as soon as I accepted, as I what? Accepted and embraced that I have 15 minutes only, suddenly my brain goes into hyperdrive to figure out how to do this, right? Let's do a simple experiment. Deep breath in, once again. You have 30 seconds to look for the color green in this room. One quick question, did you all find color green in this room, yes or no? Yes, right? In a lot of different places? Yes? In places where you did not even notice the color green before? Now, what was working was a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. As soon as you accept and embrace, and that's the title of our conference here, right? Embrace, overcome, and grow. As soon as you accept and embrace change, suddenly your brain lights up and it finds a way to move forward. And we must embrace change in this room, because if we want to raise the bar high, we have to embrace change. Or as Marshall Goldsmith likes to say, what brought you here today will not take you where you want to go. I think this is worth repeating. What brought us here, look around you in the room, please. Look around in the room. What brought you here in this room here today may not take you to the next level of growth. So for every leader, I think there are 4 very important questions. How many? 4. Number 1, where am I today? That's question number 1. Suntec City Center, Convention Center is the wrong answer. Question number 1 is, where am I today? Number 2, how did I get here? What are my strengths? What is good about me and my business? Question number 3, where would I like to go? And question number 4, how do I plan to get there? As in, what do I need to change in order to get there? And we must embrace change if we are to use the new opportunities available to us. There's a leading airline in India. The name is Indigo Airlines. Raise your hands if you've heard about them, Indigo. They started as a low-cost carrier, an LCC. They suddenly noticed that the disposable cash available with the average Indian traveler is growing a lot, and they are losing money because they don't have business class seats. 17 years later, this airline is embracing change. We must embrace change if we want to capture new opportunities which are not out there. We must embrace change if we want to preempt and be ready for any disruptions that might be out there. We must embrace change if we want to redesign, rediscover. Change is of 3 categories, my friends. How many? 3. All the change that we hear about can fall into 3 broad categories. Number 1 is reactive change. When something has happened and you cannot be left out and you must do it anyway because everybody else is doing it, okay? That's reactive change. Category number 2 is proactive change. You see some changes happening in the horizon, you change your business, you change your mindset, you take action before things go wrong. That's called proactive change. Category number 3 is we are too good for change. We are too strong, or we are too special. Change can do nothing to us. How many of you watched the Titanic? Raise your hands, please. If you watched the Titanic, remember that conversation over the dinner where the design chief engineer of the ship says, this ship cannot sink. It is a ship that is made so strong, so well built, it cannot sink. And we all know what happened. It was a sad thing once they hit the iceberg. Large corporations can be like the Titanic, right? We could believe we are very strong, we have a strong pedigree, and then we hit the icebergs. That is category number 3. We are too special for change. Take a deep breath in, inhale. Once again, say hello to the person sitting next to you. Say hello, partner. Hello, right? And remind them, please, nobody's special. Change can affect everyone. Say it now, please. Change can affect everyone. No one's special. There was a company called Palm Pilot. You heard about them, right? I was in Phoenix, Arizona in the United States. The year was 2001 when they started manufacturing the PDAs, the term they used back then for personal digital assistants. Not only does the device does not exist, even the term is not used anymore. PDA these days means public displays of affection, right? It does not mean personal digital assistants anymore. But back in the day, you had a huge gadget here. I bought one of those. You had a clunky headset like the one I'm wearing. Now, this is sleeker. It had a clunky headset, and we would pretend around walking to be very cool, wearing the latest device. The CEO of Palm Pilot, Ed Culligan, was asked by a journalist, "Sir, Apple is trying to manufacture smartphones. What do you think about that?" He said, "Well, I am not disturbed by that at all. We have been working on PDAs for several years now. Apple makes computers. They cannot just walk in here. This is our territory." And then what happens? Apple launches the iPhone, everything changes. So we must understand that disruption is the new norm. Repeat after me, please. Disruption is the new norm. In fact, I think the statement is a bit incorrect. Disruption has always been the new norm. Otherwise, we would still be living in caves. Humanity would still be in caves if we would not disrupt and change and go into unfamiliar territory. And we have to understand that we don't know what's next, what new technologies, what new trends are going to affect us. The biggest conversation in tech circles right now is about AGI. All familiar with the term? Artificial General Intelligence. I don't know why they're obsessed so much with artificial general intelligence. What's wrong with general intelligence? That is my question. That is the people sitting in this room. Why are we waiting so much for the chips to become conscious when we who are conscious are already, we are the ones who are designing the chips? So we must learn to stretch ourselves. Deep breath in, inhale. Simple experiment, put your right hand up in the air, as high as you can. Repeat after me, please. There is always margin for growth. Say it out loud, please. There is always margin for growth. Most people and corporations are stopping here, when if they stretch a little, they have the ability to go here. So we don't know. We have to stretch because we don't know what will impact us next. Another virus, God forbid, another war, climate change, fuels of the future, green hydrogen, nuclear fusion, quantum computing to reinvent the chips and the computing power, aliens, asteroids, right? We don't know. If 5 years ago, I would have told you for $20 a month, how much? $20 a month, you can hire an assistant who has PhD-level reasoning ability. Would you have believed me 5 years ago? You wouldn't have. And that's what ChatGPT is doing right now, right? They just said the first version of ChatGPT was like a toddler. The next one is like a high schooler. The current version is like a PhD graduate. That's where we are at the moment. And when there is so much change happening, or possibility of so much change happening, what do? We try to push it away, right? As kids have this nursery rhyme, rain, rain, go away, little Arthur wants to play. Grown-ups sing this rhyme, change, change, go away, I am not ready today, right? But change says, like in a game of hide and seek, whether you're ready or not, here I come. Ready or not, here I come. Change is just around the corner, right? There are 4 typical reactions to change. How many? 4. Number 1 is obvious. Come on. No. Number 2 is not me. I can't do this. I don't have the ability to do this. I don't have the resources to do it. Number 3 is not now. Later, maybe, when we are ready. And then there is a very interesting stage. It is called tell me more. What's it called? Tell me more. Everybody, please, together, 1, 2, 3, say it out loud. Tell me more. If there's one takeaway from my keynote, let it be this, that you are prepared to say to the world, no matter how much of an expert you are, tell me more. That's a great stage, because after this, the magic happens when people begin to say, yes, I'm ready, okay? So people don't suddenly jump from no, not me, not now, to yes. They go between this phase, it's called, what's it called? Tell me more. And that's where their curiosity is reignited. We can give them more information. And change says, ready or not, here I come. Personal story of change, the year 2020, February, when the lockdowns started to happen. I make a living, ladies and gentlemen, traveling across the world, working with large corporations as a professional speaker. So I heard that there's going to be lockdowns. And the airline for which I was a proud platinum member with more than 1 million miles went bankrupt. So moral of the story, if you have loyalty points of hotels or airlines, please use them. Don't save them for later. You don't know what's going to happen. But this is what happened. I love this quote by Deming. Can we read it out together, please? The quote in the middle. Let's go 1, 2, 3. It is not necessary to change. After all, survival is not mandatory, right? It's not compulsory to change. After all, it's not compulsory to survive. But here, survival was compulsory. So what did I do? I walk into rooms like this with, such good teams like this one right here, and I walk in on a red carpet, I get the mic, it's all set. When we were doing virtual, it was the other way around. Every responsibility was ours. The lighting, the sound, the acoustics. Suddenly, the tables were turned, and I benefited from what the Japanese call the beginner's mind. What's it called? The beginner's mind. The beginner's mind says, I'm ready to remove my jacket and fold my sleeves and keep my ego aside and be a beginner once again, right? And that's what I did. I learned about acoustics, about networking, about so many other things, and you will be happy to know in those 2 years, we were able to create a world-class virtual studio, which we still use till date. So out of uncertainty emerges something good. You've seen the word agility thrown around a lot, right? In conferences, agility, and that is actually what helped us. A little experiment, please. Can everybody please get up very quickly for a little experiment on agility? Before you sit down, shake someone's hand and tell them change is hard. Say it now, please. Sit down. Change is hard. But what we need, my friends, in order to change is something called agility. What is it called? What's the word called? Agility. Agility is your ability to move quickly and easily. And I think that's what we need to survive in this changing world. We need to be agile in order to survive. So move quickly and change. Organizations also have agility, which is their ability to renew themselves. But please understand, there can be no agile organizations without agile people. When people are learning, the company learns. Yes, no? When people are flexible, the company is flexible. Yes or no? When people are dynamic, the company is dynamic because company is nothing more than the sum total of its people. So in closing, and I think I'm doing a little bit okay on time, a little bit over, but about there, in closing, can we read the part in yellow, please, together? 3, 2, 1, let's go together. Have an attitude of openness, eagerness, and lack of preconceptions. And those are the sort of leaders who will succeed in this changing environment. And in the Zen philosophy, they call it the beginner's mind. It's not about being a beginner. It's about being an expert with a lot of humility, a lot of openness, and somebody who says, tell me more. Okay? So a beginner's mind is an expert who is saying out loud in every action, tell me more. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Simerjeet.